you're feeling so good, they go up, and then boom, it's unbelievable. That was, before the last couple of minutes, that was an entertaining hockey game.
Yeah.
Like, there was an ass to that game, right? Guys were banging. There was a lot of scrums. There was some creative playmaking on both sides, good saves, and then all of a sudden it just kind of went the wrong way, starting the last 3 minutes. 3 minutes!
Yeah, and what's even us more astonishing to me is all that happened tonight. Everything that you saw happened without Alex Ovechkin getting a point.
Yeah.
Without Nicholas Backstrom getting a point. And without Evgeny Kuznetsov getting a point. All this happened from the secondary stuff.
Yeah.
That's just, you figure you shut down that top line and, you deserve a better fate than what you get. And, it's just, again, the theme almost continues of a very high percentage of the Flyers' mistakes ending up in the back of their net.
Yeah. And, I mean, we're going to go through it. They ended up shooting the Caps 33-25. They ended up with it, with the more expected goals in the game as well. They really, in that second period in particular, and they're on forward, had great scoring opportunities on Samsonov, and they outshoot them at 33-25. They ended up with a lot of penalty minutes in this game, 25. Now 10 of that comes to Trevor Rosenstein on the 10-minute misconduct, 25-13 with the penalty minutes for each side. You have the odd number there because of the Lawton, Trevor Van Riemsdyk fight. Hits in the game, 22-14. Flyers with more hits. They were physical in the game. They were not intimidated by them. They didn't, like we talked about in pregame, they did not look like a team knowing it's missing a ton of guys, not playing well, and that the fait accompli was that they were going to lose. They went out and they ended up losing, and it ended up being the fait accompli, but they went out and put themselves in a position to win the game. And then, like you said, a couple of mistakes, Bri, and in the final 3 minutes.
It's another thing tonight for me of some of these guys coming into their own that are kind of filling in. Jerry Mayhew, 2 goals tonight. I mean, that his performance in the last month has been astonishing. Isaac Ratcliffe is continuing to get a little bit better and better with every game. Connor Bunneman actually had a decent game tonight as well. But and then the guys that you expect to pick up the slack also with great games. Travis Sanheim, we'll talk more about him later.
Best game of the year for him.
How great a game he had. But, the captain with that 62-foot cross-team pass to get the goal in the second. And then, you want to look at, some of your other regulars for just kind of back things up. But unfortunately, it's not to be for Ivan Provorov tonight. You could tell how upset he was on the bench after the final horn. That how much that kind of fell on him there at the end, and it's kind of disheartening to watch.
Yeah, and the thing with the Provorov play, it's not a play that he would typically make. He's usually a very. Well, you want me to have a drink? After that game, I need one. Give me a shot in the beer. I'm kidding. No, but usually he's a very deliberate player, is the way I kind of describe him. And in a play there where you got to just keep it around the outside of the boards, for some reason he spins to his backhand to the middle of the ice, and that cost him. It's a bad giveaway. It ends up right on the stick of Hathaway, and he absolutely buries it easily. Jones had no chance in hell to make that save. Let's get to the BetRivers.com highlight real quick. And you know what? I'm going to call an audible here, Ryan, back at the station. I want to start with the Sanheim goal at 19-1 of the second period. So it's the second Flyers goal. So Kempny opened up the scoring in the first with that screenshot. Go to the intermission, Flyers down 1-0. Mayhew ties it on the power play, great puck movement, and then Snively gives the Caps the 2-1 lead. But then at 19:01 of the second, and you just said it, Brian, I thought Sanheim was really good in the game. Here he gets up the ice, great execution on the passing play, and it ties the score too.
To Konechny, he's in front, they score! Travis Sanheim, what a setup by Konechny, and Sanheim got his 4th of the year. The Flyers in the final minute of the second, tying it 2.
I mean, talk about first the pass just at the blue line that Giroux makes to Konechny, and then Konechny just puts it on a tee for Sanheim. And that's getting up the ice, out of the zone with numbers and pace. And that's how you move the puck, and that's how you screw up the rush.
Yeah, and he's got to make a read here too, right? Because Giroux's in front of him, and so he's got to figure out exactly what Giroux is going to do. And again, we talked about the pass in the second intermission. TV has the ability to take the puck tracking and all that, and figure out that was a 62-foot cross seam pass, and he had to open up completely in order to make it. He was on. That would have been a backhand.
It's a right-hand shot.
So it's a backhand if he continues to skate forward. He opens all the way up, makes the play, and then from there, Sanheim recognizes it and kind of turns on the Jets at that point. The other thing he's got to make sure he's not going to do there is go off sides.
Yeah. And
so definitely a heads-up play there to read that correctly. But it's a remarkable play by Claude Giroux to even get that going. And from that point, it kind of felt like that was going to be the Flyers' third period there.
Yeah, and then they head into the third period. You're tied at 2, and then late in the third, not late enough, unfortunately, but 16:09. Here the Flyers grab a lead. They grab the lead at 3-2 when Jerry Mayhew picks up his 2nd of the game and 5th of the season.
The Washington zone goes around the man, leading in front. They score! What a play by Travis Sanheim! And Mayhew has his first 2-goal game in the NHL. The Flyers have taken the 3-2 lead.
Going hard to the net there, and Sanheim uses that speed around the outside and delivers him a nice little backhand pass, and Mayhew pops it home past Samsonov. Now the Flyers got the lead. You're feeling good, right?
Oh, absolutely. You've got the crowd probably as excited as it's been in a couple of months here.
Mm-hmm.
You've got that on your side. You've got less than 4 minutes to play. The last thing I think anybody thought at this point was that Washington was going to score 3 goals in the final 3 minutes. It just does not seem like that's the way it was going. I mean, it was as if the Flyers had put themselves in a position to cash in. They finally did it, and things were going to be laying there for them.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about in the Penguin game was the Flyers scored first, and the Penguins scored within a minute. Then in the third period, Flyers up 2. Penguins got within 1 to make it 4-3, and they scored to tie it at 4-4 within a minute. So Mayhew gives the Flyers the lead at 16:09. 56 seconds later, Hathaway gets the tying goal to make it 3-3, his 9th of the season. And then this turns out to be the game winner. It's Hathaway again at 18:48, and he picks up his 10th and 2nd of the game.
After playing in the middle of center ice, Dowd picked it up, pushes it in at the line of the left corner, and Braun goes to get it. Behind his own net, Provorov, he hands it off in front. The Jets score! A giveaway by Ivan Provorov in front of the net, and Washington takes advantage. Guarded Hathaway, the same guy that tied it, ends up getting the goal to make it 4-3.
And look, like a play-by-play guy is not looking for words. It's happened so fast. And Tim nailed it. Hands it off. Provorov handed it off in a way to, who was it? Hagelin.
Yeah.
And it's exactly how I would kind of describe it if I had time to think about it. I probably would have done that in real time like he did, but he's a pro. But, I mean.
He also nailed the part where he sounded like he'd been stabbed in the stomach.
Yeah. I've heard that before. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean,
we have been stabbed in the stomach too many times.
Nobody obviously is going to make the correct play 100% of the time. Other than thinking that there was more room than he had, I'm not sure, like you said, why Provorov. I think I can see what he was thinking about doing here. He had somebody coming in front of the net.
Forward curling.
Yeah, he had a forward curling in front of the net, and the backhander was going to get the puck to that forward, and it was going to be a breakout here. And I still can't tell exactly who this person was, but that's what the play was going to be. And Hagelin, you got to give him credit here. He reads it. He comes up behind Provorov, and rather than sealing off the boards, he reads that he's going to try to make this play out in front. It was Lawton who was curling, and he pokes it off the stick. And, just like that, you've got Hathaway coming to the net. He actually, again, also made a good read because he was kind of in a safe spot. He was outside the face-off dots, and he was getting ready to turn up ice and try to, slow down Scott Lawton. But he sees Hagelin make the play, peels off, and then he's all by himself. Lawton, again expecting the pass, tried to get back and recover, but he's lost his edge in a blanket of snow, and Hathaway does not miss up on the opportunity. So it's you give the Capitals more credit there than I think we all did initially upon watching that live in first replays. It's an unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that's the decision that Provorov made, but I think I can see the logic in what he was trying to do there now that we look at it again.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a nothing burger play.
Right.
Coming in, right? It just kind of rims around. Braun gets it. Braun to Provorov, then up the wall. Then you work your way out. You go for the quick up there to the center who's curling. But, if you want to know what the 2-1-2 forecheck looks like, look at that play and look what the Capitals did. The first forward goes to Braun, who has the puck. The second forward is going right to the other defenseman to take that D pass away and try and create a turnover. And it's pronounced. And then the two are in. The one is Hathaway, who's in the middle of the ice. I mean, that's the 2-1-2 to a T right there. Very aggressive. And you can beat it if you hit that pass to Lawton and don't turn it over or go up the boards. But in this case, it's the turnover and it ends up in the back of your net. And that's what that forecheck is intended to do.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I think Provorov can do differently here is take a look over his right shoulder.
Yeah.
As the puck comes to him, he takes a look over his left shoulder, and he sees that Lawton's in that position. But, again, credit where credit is due. Carl Hagelin here, he hangs out right in Provorov's blind spot. I mean, he's right behind his shoulder blades, and Proby just doesn't see him. And again, if he takes that look over his right shoulder, he probably does see Hagelin there. Maybe he makes a different play. But that's really the only thing I can look at this after taking a look at it a few times. That's really the only thing I can suggest that he might do differently there. Other than that, he thought he was in the clear. He thought it was an easy play, and I just don't think he knew that Carl Hagelin was in the area.
And when the puck gets onto Provorov's backhand, Hagelin's reading the play because if he's going to go up the boards, he's going to try and pinch and seal off the boards. And then as soon as he sees him start to pull it, he knows he's going that way, and then it's like he jumps the route.
Right.
And then he gets the puck, gets it to Hathaway, ends up in behind Martin Jones. That gives the Caps the lead. Eventually they get an empty net goal at 19-11 when John Carlson picked up his 10th of the season. 5-3 your final. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable.
But this is what happens when you are a seasoned team like the Washington Capitals, when you've got a bunch of experience in situations like this, a bunch of high pressure situations where you've been there and you've performed. You know how to execute in them and how to make plays like that. I mean, again, in a tie game, minute 15 left, to continue to execute that forecheck and create those chances. I mean, that takes a good bit of mental fortitude, mental discipline, and you have to give them credit that they're able to pull those off. It's the kind of area that Flyers hopefully we'll get to here pretty soon.
Yeah. Oh man, this one stinks.
Yeah.
We're going to see this team in a week?
Yes.
They play each other again,
and that's going to be a fun game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of calling cards in this game.
Yeah,
sure.
there's going to be there's going to be that, and there's going to be just general anger, I think, from the Flyers as to how this played out. So I definitely think that's going to be one to watch here next weekend. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, and they'll be back at it. Flyers will, coming up on Monday. It's a matinee special, President's Day, here at Wells Fargo Center. Flyers will take on Carolina at 3 o'clock, and then back at it on Tuesday as well, and then they'll be off until the following Saturday. All right, let's wrap it up and let our radio audience go back to the rock. Here's Metallica at 93.3 WMMR. That for Brian Smith, Tim Saunders, Steve Coates, Betsy Deming, our engineer, Ryan Shuttlesworth, our in-studio engineer, and how about this, Mike Vito on highlights. Nice job, Mike. Everybody, thanks for listening. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next time on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network.
This has been an exclusive presentation of Philadelphia Flyers hockey.
And the final score in the books.
Philadelphia Flyers hockey is brought to you by BetRivers.com, the official sports betting partner of the Philadelphia Flyers. SeatGeek, the best way to get
we can go for a few more minutes.
snacks. Dietz and Watson, Gas Business, Independence Blue Cross, HBK, CPAs and Consultants, Ashley Foods, Jack Daniels, and by Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or broadcast of Philadelphia Flyers hockey is expressly prohibited without the permission of the Philadelphia Flyers and the National Hockey League. Flyers hockey on
Yes,
the
we are still with our stream.
Flyers Broadcast Network.
I think we're still rolling on the stream.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody?
I still have a station in my ears. I don't know about you.
I do as well.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
Now we're rocking and rolling. I just, this is, again, it's a team that is grasping for just about any positive thing that it can get right now. And, they had that one within reach. This is, we've always said we don't like moral victories, but at least we are talking about something like this as opposed to a 5-0 blowout.
Yeah.
6-3, whatever, something being completely off the rails. I mean, you can tell that this team still has life in it. There's no quit at this point. They want to get out of this as bad as the fans want to see them get out of it. And it's, again, one that stings a little bit in the way it gets away. But, I'm hoping that they look at how they played against this particular Washington team and take that into the rest of this homestand, which, like we said, is going to be a difficult one. Carolina is up next on Monday afternoon. Unfortunately for the Flyers, they have to sit on this one for a few days. They don't get to play over the weekend. They've got a back-to-back, I should say, Monday and Tuesday. And they're going to
St. Louis Tuesday?
St. Louis on Tuesday. Yeah, that's a typical 7 o'clock start. Monday, Carolina, 3 o'clock on President's Day here at Wells Fargo Center. So, again, I'm hoping they can channel what happened tonight and play it forward now into stringing a few wins.
Yeah, and you got to get right back up, and you're going to have that game against Carolina, like you said. I mean, Carolina, win percentage-wise, points percentage is the top team in the division. They've only played 47 games. They have 68 points. They're 2 points back at Pittsburgh, but they played 3 less games.
Right.
Flyers and Carolina will be Monday as Rob Brindamore and the Canes come in. I don't think we've seen the Canes in Philadelphia this year.
Not here. No, not here.
Yeah.
We were down there once.
2-1 win.
Yeah, this game was supposed to be earlier this year at some point. Early January, maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Tom Wilson hit?
On Scott Luck?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, Tom Wilson, he's Satan. And should be banned from the league. I'm not that guy. I believe that physicality is a big part of this game, and having players that create some fear.
Satan, really?
Yeah. I mean, some people they just they can't fathom that you can play that physical.
Right.
And look, does he cross the line and go over the line sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely, he does. And maybe he's a player from a different era playing in this era. But I don't like to see knee-to-knee hits. No, good physical collisions. Like the hit he had a couple weeks ago in Boston was a great hit. Separated the player from the puck, separated the player from earth, frankly. And he's a big physical guy, and he'll answer the bell. And he's a pretty damn good hockey player, too. But I don't like when you stick out the knee in the open ice.
Yeah.
And he did.
And again, I'm looking at the way this all developed. It did look like mostly a matter of bad timing. I don't think he intended to skate out there and lead with the knee.
No,
but you've got to, what that is a situation where you're so eager to make a play here as he crosses the blue line. You're so eager to put your stamp on something that you time it poorly, and that was the result. And so that to me is the problem there. You've got to have it in your mind that, all right, if I'm not going to be able to make this play, I need to bail out and not make this play. I can't try to compensate for a bad angle or a sudden burst of speed and just try to get as much of them as I can because this is what happens.
Yeah. And, Lawton played a really, physical game too, was getting after. He cuts up the middle. Like you say, he's trying to make a play. And that whole thing kind of converged on him.
Right.
I'm glad to see he got out for his next shift, which was good. He was getting a little bit of attention at the end of the bench.
Yeah.
All in all, this was a good hockey game. It really was. It was an entertaining game. There was a lot of well-executed plays in the game. Look at a couple of the Flyer goals in this game. All three of them actually is 2 goals off the rush and a power play goal.
Right.
And good passing and good pace coming out of the zone. These are things we weren't seeing that, not that long ago. But ultimately the results what matters. It's a results-oriented business.
Yeah.
And they end up losing 4 straight.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep. And that's this is the Lawton game tonight to me is it epitomizes why he's such a valuable part of any team. Fortunately for us here in Philadelphia, because he had a 6-game scoring streak coming into this. It is snapped tonight because he didn't get a point, but all the other ways that he contributes to a game like this, 3 shots on goal, 5 total attempts, 3 hits, 2 takeaways in this one. He gets the fight. He goes out there and changes the course of things after the captain gets decked into the boards. And, he took 16 faceoffs tonight, went 7 for 9. I'm sure he'd like to be a little bit better. But get this. There's been so much talk about, what Claude Giroux can bring to a playoff contender. 19 for 21
on
faceoffs tonight.
Number 2 in the NHL coming in tonight on draws, only behind Patrice Bergeron. And he goes 19 for 22.
21.
That's insane.
90%. One of the 2 that he lost, unfortunately, for the Flyers was on that late power play.
Yeah.
Then ended up going down the other way. But I actually, if I'm, that would have been, a good start to that for them. That's another thing too. The 5-on-3. It's easy to look at it and say that's the turning point of the game, but they did everything but score on that 5-on-3. That looked a lot better than you would have thought maybe it did if you're just looking at the score sheet.
Yeah, that's amazing. 19 of 21. Sheesh. And again, you're right. That's another element that you can add to a playoff team. Every possession of the puck, every defensive zone draw or offensive zone draw, hugely important. And Drew to be winning 19 of 21 faceoffs is, frankly, it's absurd.
Yeah. Every now and then you just get in a groove, and you just tick them right off. And this was one of those nights for him. That's a lot of the talk with Colorado Avalanche. They don't have anybody that's any good at faceoffs right now. I think they're 29th in the league.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, that's another thought there. But
could this be a destination for Giroux, Washington?
Coach
kind of likes him.
Nothing is nothing is off the table at this point, right?
Yeah.
In terms of
Lavi loves him.
You're not worried about trading within the division. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He goes where he wants anyway. So nothing's off the table right now. But the fact that that he's still buying into what the Flyers are doing here right now, that just speaks volumes to what he could bring to another team if it goes that route.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I know the Caps have had been a lot of scouting going on between these 2 clubs.
Yeah, and the Flyers too. They have to look at it. And again, I don't know how it's played out. Claude did say in the press conference the other day he has not spoken to Chuck Fletcher about it yet, but that does not mean that he and his agents haven't been doing it. Chuck and Claude's agent, Pat.
It just means they haven't had a conversation.
Right.
Where they took.
Yeah, exactly. There was a report out there that that Fletcher had been okay with the agent talking to a few teams about what's out there, but the hope is that at least when you're looking at this from the Flyers' perspective, if there's going to be a deal, the hope is that he has green-lighted a few different teams, and now Chuck can use that to create the best deal.
Create a bidding war.
Yeah, exactly. If there's 4 or 5 teams involved, they're all on the hump. You hope that's where it is, because one thing about the Colorado Avalanche, as great a fit as it is, they do not have a first-round pick this year. They do not have a second-round pick this year. So you're not getting anything better than a third from them unless there's other people involved. There's been some talk of Colorado maybe needing a third team to make the money work on the cap. If that's going to be the case, maybe a pick comes from one of those teams somehow. I don't know exactly how that would work, but
if you're using Arizona, though, they want all their picks.
Yeah,
I get that.
So the Flyers, they want to make obviously the best deal that they can, and Colorado may not be the best destination just from the standpoint of what they can get in return, unless they're looking to add in a couple of already established prospects.
Yeah, I think that's what they're looking for.
Right.
More quick. That's a quicker recoil than drafting and starting with an 18-year-old and basically starting from
Now,
stage
if you
one.
can get their if you get a New Hook or a Byram or something like that, if you can get their first round pick next year, next year's draft is supposed to be a pretty nice draft. So as many early picks as you can get for next year, might almost be worth it, especially if you can get some folks to help bolster the immediate team right now.
I always think that GMs are reluctant to do that the following year because they always think in the mindset, it's why they don't draft goalies. Am I going to be there to bear the fruit of that? You know what I mean?
True. there is, and from that standpoint too, I mean, you do have to remember that we're still not in normal times. And one thing about a 23 draft pick, you're going to have more time to scout prospects in a normal situation. I know that a lot of the leagues are back to normal, but a lot of the development of these guys may not quite be there yet.
Yeah, and that will get back to normal over the next calendar year. It's a good point.
So who knows what happens here? I think, just from the standpoint of where Chuck is right now, I think he's comfortable enough with the current situation that he would be willing to push that down the road. But you're right, that is always a possibility.
Yeah, Peter Laviolette had some things to say post game about Claude Drew. Asked about him. He said
that one was before.
Oh, this is before the game. Just talking about his dynamic skill set, and then also said that when you go into the meeting when you're playing against him, you're talking about 5-on-5 in power play. He's the guy you focus on.
Yeah,
because so much runs through him, and I thought he was excellent in the game tonight too. And then obviously 19 of 21 draws is frankly insane.
Just from the standpoint of trying to pick this team up on his shoulders right now, just kind of wheel them forward. When you and you're getting that now, not just from Claude Giroux, you're also getting it from Scott Lawton. You're getting it from Jerry Mayhew. You're seeing these guys step up and try to push the wagon forward here, and you can't do anything. You can't help but try to join that right now. So yeah, that's exactly where he's at. And trying to do everything he can to steer this ship in the right direction before he puts any thought into what's in his immediate future.
All right, well, let's put a wrap on it. Let's send the crew home. I know the security guards here are itching to get our butts out of here.
Lock the doors.
Yeah, they might lock us in. That's all right. That means I get to hang out for pool on Sunday. I was here for Billie Eilish on Super Bowl Sunday with my daughter, and I'll be here. Maybe I'll come.
I got to commend you for falling on that sword. That was well done.
Yeah, well, chalk one up for Dad.
Yep.
All right, everybody on the stream, thanks for listening. Thanks to our crew here, and we'll talk to you coming up on Monday. President's Day, 3:00 game. We'll be doing the pregame show. Flyers game day beginning at 2:30 on Monday. Have a great couple of days, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday.